Is your illness or injury related to your job? If you are thinking of claiming workers' compensation, you will have to prove that your illness or injury was caused by your job. If you were undertaking a task that was required at your workplace, or as part of your job, and you fell ill or became injured, your illness or injury will be considered work-related. However, you will need to meet a few more requirements before you can claim workers' compensation. These requirements include lunch breaks. If you were injured or fell ill during your lunch break, chances are you will not be covered by your workers' compensation. However, if during your lunch break your boss had asked you to pick up their lunch and you sustained an injury while picking up their lunch, there is a chance that you may be eligible. Company events. The company that you work for may hold events such as team training days, or even parties. All of these events tend to be covered by workers' compensation, although this is not always guaranteed. If you were to have too much to drink at a works party, and you fell and injured yourself, you may be able to claim. However, you should read your company's policy on injuries in the workplace, and see if that ties in with local or state law. Traveling. Most people commute to and from their place of work, and if someone is injured on their way to work, they may not be eligible for compensation. However, if you are one of the millions of people in this country who does not have a fixed workplace, if you are a handyman, for example, or you are traveling to a business meeting during work hours, it's likely that your injuries will be covered by the compensation. Your misconduct. If you were fooling around and you became injured, you may find that you are still eligible for compensation, but this does depend on what you were doing. If you were fooling around at work and you were injured by a metal pole falling on your arm, for example, your injury may still be covered by the compensation, even though you were not acting appropriately. Mental health conditions. Mental health conditions could be as a result of seeing a colleague injured or killed while they were working. If you are suffering from a mental health condition such as depression or anxiety, for example, you may be eligible for compensation. You may also be eligible for workers' compensation if you were injured at work, and that injury has led to you becoming depressed. You will have to prove that you are depressed and that your depression was caused by your work or events that have taken place at work. This is where a lawyer may be able to help you. Hearing loss. If you have suffered a hearing loss because you have worked or currently work in a noisy environment, it's likely that you will be covered by workers' compensation. Pre-existing conditions. If you have a condition that your job makes worse in some way and you become injured or ill, you may be covered. Diseases and illnesses. If you have a disease such as asbestosis as a result of working close to asbestos, you could receive compensation. However, if you suffer from another illness or disease, you will have to prove that it is related to and caused by your job. This is where speaking to a lawyer could help, as they will tell you whether they think you have a case, and if it is worth pursuing it.